guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to talk about 10 books that I have either started this year or one that I'd started last year that I had on my currently reading and that I have pushed to an on-hold file on Goodreads or on my spreadsheets because I was just getting too stressed out for all these books that I'd started but not completed. And some of these books I've abandoned for now. All these are ones I would like to go back to and either give it a really good shot or decide later how I want to deal with them. I needed to clear it off. I just got so stressed out of all the books I hadn't finished, and I just decided I need to focus on the ones I want to finish right now, and then I will deal with these ones later. So I've decided to make space on one of my book carts and put these there so that maybe I can look at them later when I'm feeling up to getting back to them. So I'm just going to go through the 10 that I pulled from my Goodreads and from like my spreadsheets that says I stopped them this year or made a decision on them this year. There are several others that I've already put back on my shelves that are not quite this, like, they're more like I'm not sure if I'm going to get back to when I'm going to get back to them, but these ones are more the ones that I would really like to try again, or try to get to them sooner rather than later. But they're going on hold. They're not going to be on my currently reading list anymore because that was just stressing me out. Too many books on there. So the first one is an autobiography, The Sun in the Morning, My Early Years in India and England by MMK. She is an author and of The Far Pavilions and Shadows of the Moon. So I have not read either of those. I picked this up because of a read-along this summer. And I got halfway through. I got about to 240 pages out of a 450 page book, and I just lost steam. And it's not that it's bad. It's just so dense. I mean, again, there's barely, if there's any dialogue at all, it's so little. It's her reminiscing about her childhood. And again, this is like the 1910s on in India. And again, like we've gone through the war times while they're in India. And it's very fascinating to see her describing things and people she met and things like that. I just got to where I'd read so much of it and I couldn't read anymore for a while. So I do want to come back to this. There are two other parts of this of her autobiography, and I have not bought them yet because I want to finish this first. But I do want to come back to this. I was hoping to do it in November. It didn't happen. So, so that's another why I was just trying to get things off that I'm not reading right now. I will come back to it. I'm pretty sure I will come back to that, but I will, well, this is what we're trying to do is kind of clear things off. And this is the oldest one on the list, which is Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. I was hoping to read it in November. Just did not happen. I could not bring myself to read this. And I can't even explain why. It was just, I didn't feel like it. And this is a book I started back in May of 2020. I read 110 pages out of 550, so as I said, I got like about a fifth of the way through. It was so fascinating, but it's just that time in 2020 was not a good time for me to be reading this at the time. It didn't work for me as an audiobook, and I set it down. But I want to come back to it. I still own the audiobook. I still can listen to it. I need to pick a time where I really want to read it. So, as I said, I think it was really fascinating. I was going back and forth between Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley because, as I said, Mary Wollstonecraft died after Mary Shelley was born, so they didn't really know each other. They didn't get to know each other at all, and so their lives are very similar and dissimilar of things and choices that they made. I just think it was so interesting. I want to get back to this. This is not a book I want to say I abandoned, but it's been a year and a half. It's not on my currently reading. I'm not reading it, but I want to get back to it. I will get to it. Another book I got halfway through is Crow Country by Mark Crocker. So this one I actually DNF'd, took it off my Goodreads, but I do want to still get to it. It's still sitting on my shelf because I still have 100 pages left about his research with crows and jackdaws and other things in Britain, and it was really interesting. It would just put me to sleep. So I could only read a little bit at a time. So I just ran out of time during Springathon, which is when I started this. So if Springathon comes around next year, I probably will try to read this then and finish it out. I don't know, but it's not, again, put it aside and I'll get to it at some point. And then I have a Victober read, The Beetle by Richard Marsh. I got 122 pages in out of 350. So I got about a third of the way of that one as well. Seems to be a pattern here. So this one is was published the same year as Dracula, and it actually outsold it at the time. But this has to do with kind of this really mystical things about like Egypt and I don't know, like there's so many weird things. It was mesmerizing, and there's like kind of a shifter, you know, a shape changer of some sort, but really kind of creepy. Beetle. Anyway, and but it has to do with, it has like different, like it has 5 different perspectives. I only made it to the second one, which he was annoying, which is hard to read him. And then something happened with the cat right before I stopped. I was like, I don't want to read this right now. I started this too late in October for Victober, so I just didn't feel the need to finish it. So I'm hoping that I can pick it up sometime in the sometime in the next year before Victober and finish it beforehand. If not, it'll probably be on my Victober TBR to finish. And then the other one from Victober was Gothic Tales by Elizabeth Gaskell. The audiobook of this came out right at the end of the month, and so I got it because I was planning to do that the whole time because it was supposed to come out early in the month, and they postponed it by a couple weeks. And so I had read the first couple of stories about 3 years ago and didn't continue. So I reread those and got to 102 pages out of 330, I think. So again, third of the way through the book, and I didn't finish it. So again, this one is more short stories. Some of them more Gothic tales, you know, have some kind of spooky element to them. Anyway, I didn't finish this. I'm hoping to at some point because I want to read all of Elizabeth Gaskell, which I need to get on that. And anyway, so I'll probably try to read this, if not before. It'll be in Victober again. My nose itches, sorry. And then a book that I also DNF'd, but I'm contemplating it again, is A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas. This is the first book in the Lady Sherlock series. So I tried to read this for Falling Into Reading Challenge this fall, and it was the November pick. And I got, well, okay, life kind of disintegrated on that week. That week was a really hard week for me, doing with a lot of things, work, you know, personally wise. And so it probably wasn't the best time to be reading this book. Anyway, I got to page 61 or through chapter 4, and then chapter 5 starts and something happens. It's one of those plot devices that I don't really like. And I didn't feel like it was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And I just set it down. It was one of the books that I had to abandon in order to finish some other books that were more calling to my mood reading brain. So this is, again, Lady Sherlock is Charlotte Sherlock and her family. We're learning about them and decisions that Charlotte has made. And she's also that is not right. Charlotte Holmes. Sorry. And then she has another pseudonym, you know, Sherlock. Is that right? Yeah. So Sherlock Holmes, that she uses for dealing with crimes and stuff, like, you know, giving a help to the police. And it's kind of, I liked that part of it, that twist from the original stuff. But there is, again, but this is also a book that, so I DNF'd it thinking, okay, that's not the way I want it to go. But I think I have to acknowledge that I need to read at least another chapter or two before I make a really good decision on this. So that's why I put it back on hold, because I do want to give it another shot. And then the last 5 that I want to talk about. Yeah, is that 5? Is that half? Well, wait, did I have an extra book? I did. I had 11. Sorry. I miscounted. Anyway, so there was 11 books. Anyway, so the last 5 are all books that I picked up one day or 2 days where I only read a little bit of it and just feel like I didn't give it a really good shot. I just picked it up on a whim and then didn't complete it. So these are definitely ones that are not currently reading, because I only picked them up one or 2 days, and then I haven't touched them since. So I do want to go back and give these another shot. It's just not right now. So the first one is Tender as the Flesh by Augustina Basterica. So this is translated from the Spanish. by Sarah Moses. So I started this for Women in Translation in August, and I got 30 pages in. So I read the first 5, is it 5 chapters? Yeah. So this follows a man who works in a factory, and a tanning factory, and the world has changed where humans are no longer able to eat animal flesh for some reason, and the only way to get meat is to eat other humans. So some humans are classified as cattle, and so this is talking about this man who is gifted a head of cattle, and now he doesn't know what to do with her. So anyway, that's so it still sounds good to me. I just stopped at that day. I don't know why I never came back and finished that for, I think it was probably near the end of the month, and I just ran out of speed or out of time to finish another book. I don't know. Another one that I read, I can't even remember if this was for a readathon or anything. It was like May or June, I can't remember. The Mountains Sing, Nguyen Van Qumai. Anyway, so this is about Vietnam, about a family talking about from the 1920s to the Vietnam War. So I think it's one woman telling her story about that. And as I said, I don't remember how much, I mean, I just remember it being during the Vietnam War and then going back in time. And that's about all I remember. Again, I only read 32 pages that one day. And that was, you know, I picked it up and then set it down. And then this has been sitting on my bookshelf next to me for months, and I keep looking and going, oh, I need to get back to that. I need to get back to that. So I've kind of, as I said, it's one of those ones that's been on my currently reading since then, but I just have not picked it up. So I've decided to put it on hold for that reason. Another one that I picked up one day was An Irish Country Doctor by Patrick Taylor. I picked this one up for Pastoral June. So one day I picked this up. I read 34 pages and it got to a scene that kind of made me cringe for the character. So sometimes secondhand embarrassment will stop me from reading a book that day. I just didn't pick it up again. Again, I don't know what was going on, but I didn't read it. So this is, I think this has to do with, I don't know what decade. If it's the 50s or earlier. I don't remember. And I don't remember what decade. Maybe, I don't even know. It's been so while. It's been a while. Now it's been a couple months. I don't remember. And this young man has just graduated, and he's going to join a practice of an older doctor in this small little Northern Ireland town. And so I think it's him in the community and stuff. But again, I only read 34 pages one day, and I never picked it up again. So again, it's one of that's technically on hold because I didn't come back to it. And then The Broken Girls by Simone St. James is one of those ones where it has something I don't like in books a lot. And I've definitely this year has discovered that the characters that I don't like in books are reporters. I have real issues with a lot of books that have reporters as their main characters. I don't know what it is about reporters that I don't like in books, but I think it's just the way they question things differently than an amateur would, I think, would like investigator would. I don't know. There's something about it. Anyway, so this was one of 3 like reporter books that I picked up by accident this year. And this is the only one that I'm still I kind of want to get past to read it. So this is kind of a spooky Gothic book with the 2 timelines. 1950s Vermont is the school, Idlewild Hall. And the girls who are going to school there and their stories. And then there's something kind of spooky going on with them. And then 2014, we're following the reporter whose sister was killed on the property a couple of years before that, and her boyfriend was charged and convicted, but now they're thinking maybe he didn't do it, or she's questioning something. I'm not sure how that goes. Anyway, so she wants to investigate something, which again bothers me. Anyway, so I only made it 28 pages. So this was a 5-star prediction, so I'd still like to get to this, but that one I'm not sure about, and I might have to go audio to listen to that. I'm not sure to get through that. I don't know, the reporter part just, so many people love that book, and I read it one day, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then a book that I really, really want to read, because I started it one day, and then I did not have time to get back to it, and that is The Lost Queen by Sigmund Pike. I picked it up on like I did a spinner wheel for a couple of months to pick up some fantasies for me. Yeah, that failed. But this was one of the book I picked up, and I've been wanting to get back to this for months, but it's just, I keep coming up with other things I need to read. I read 50 pages of this one day, and then I was having to read something else. I probably scheduled something, and I was going to read something else, and so I never got back to this. This is a historical fantasy about two twins who grow up, I think, in northern England. And it's kind of the time of kind of Arthur kind of thing. I think one of the twins is supposed to be kind of like a Merlin character when he grows up. I'm not quite sure. And then I don't remember how she's connected. But it has to do with her father. Their father is a clan lord, I think, and there's some fighting going on between the clans. I'm not sure. As I said, I got 50 pages and it was really interesting. But I didn't get far, and I really wanted to read more. I just didn't get there. So, anyway, so I really want to get to that one, but again, it's on hold because I didn't put it ever on, I don't think I ever put on Goodreads. I don't know, maybe I did too. But it's another one on hold because I really want to get back to it. Okay, so I've tried to film this like 6 times, so hopefully this will work. So I don't know if you guys do that too, where you clean out what you currently are reading, or if books that you've like picked up and then set down and you just never got back to what you decide. Again, these are the ones that are the most probable for me to pick up again fairly soon. But I don't want that pressure of seeing it. It's on my currently reading, so I need to read that. I can't read like that anymore. It's just driving me crazy. I need to just allow myself to, I have all these books I want to read. I mean, a lot of these I've read, but a lot of them I haven't. And I'd like to be able to pick and choose. And I just feel like if I force myself to read something that I've technically started just one day on a whim, that it never feels right. So so again, as I said, I will come back to these at some point, not sure when. If there are any of those you think I should definitely pick up again soon, let me know. Again, as I said, none of these the only one I might pick up before the end of the year is The Broken Girls. I might try that one once more. Everything else I don't want to, because The Broken Girls is part of the 5-star prediction, which I'm not doing very good at, but I'd like to finish out the books. Anyway, we'll see. So, anyway, just let me know how you guys deal with books that you've started and abandoned, but I don't feel like they're full DNFs. Again, I definitely DNF really easily. Like, or, if a book doesn't I don't deal well with it, I get rid of it. But, I don't know, now I'm rambling. So anyway, let me know if you do anything like this at any time of the year, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.